Hey everybody, Boris speaking Forex. Welcome to the crosses section for SEP 2nd to SEP 6, 2019. The story in the crosses this week, I think, is actually that the volatility has gotten much wider than we've been used to for the last couple of months. And I think you have to respect the width of the volatility in order to really have intelligent trades going forward. I have three ideas kind of spread out all across the spectrum. Some of them are with the flow, some of them are against the flow. So let me just sort of get started here. Kiwi CAD is really my picking the bottom trade here. Now this is probably out of consensus, but what's interesting here is that technically we do have a very clean, clear doji bottom. So we take that as our straw of hope and trade that on the assumption that maybe we get weaker Canadian rhetoric this week. Basically, the BOC comes in softer than we expect, and if BOC does come in softer, it really provides that scope for dollar Canada to push through the 33.50. Kiwi CAD goes up to the 85s on mean reversion flows. Euro pound clearly showing a reversal pattern, but here the width has got to be very, very large. I'll show you the charts. We got to give this a lot of breathing room. Now, of course, this is also very contingent on Brexit headlines, but as I said, you can't just, whatever Brexit headlines you get, especially on the negative side, are just cannot be taken too seriously simply because all of them can get reversed before the actual deadline comes in. I think it's sort of like the skew in cable story here is anything positive you believe, anything negative you dismiss, and that's why euro pound could be a short. And this obviously, in addition to the fact that euro itself has just gotten decimated. And then the other trade here, this is actually as much a trade on the dollar strength. We've seen very, very strong moves in dollar Swiss, and that's a response to perhaps positive U.S. data. And that's really the key thing here. If we get positive U.S. data and cable holds, I really like cable on against the Swissy here, especially if it can clear the 122 level. So let's just actually take a look at that as our first candidate. First thing you see here, we're holding above the 20 SMA. Nice deep support for the last week and a half. This 118, 119 is the big support area. To me, this 118 is really the key support. We have been hitting our head against the 21s, but that breaks through to the upside. What's the highs over here? It's the but really almost just literally 21 is the highs here, 2090. If they can just push itself through, there's nothing here to hold us back till 24, and that really opens up a pretty wide open trade here. It's looking pretty positive unless we start breaking the 118s. At that point, the whole structure completely changes. Here's my catch the bottom trade, and I kind of really like this trade, even though it's so out of consensus. This is a clean, clear doji. We tested the bottom, we ended up at the highest, right? At very minimum, whenever we get these things, I mean, sometimes we get about a penny, penny and a half move. Sometimes we get 2 penny moves. Sometimes maybe it's only a half a penny move. But we generally almost always get pretty decent moves to the upside. And we have a very clean, clear, definitive risk here. Everything that's just been bad has been thrown at the Kiwi. The CAD story is problematic because we don't know where the BOC stands, and if the market gets into its head the BOC is going to be dovish, it really pushes dollar CAD through the 33.50s. Also, the fact that oil dropped 3% today is really not helping things, and if oil continues to go below 55s, that just really drives this trade to the upside. So I like this trade as an intelligent pick the bottom trade for the start of the week. Perhaps starts up to the 85s on Kiwi CAD as the maximum, but very minimum. You know, I think we can go to 84.50s just at the start of the week. So I'd like that trade a lot. And then finally, this is you give yourself lots of latitude trades. So yes, I think we broke the back of the euro pound rally here. This is essentially signaling that yes, we're probably going to get a Brexit deal one way or the other. We're now underneath the 20 SMA. Even though we're trading to the upside, we're really trading underneath the 20 SMA. And the really big story here is do we break the 90s? If we break the 90s, that opens up the full run towards the 89s. On the downside here, the top side is really circumscribed by about 91.60, but let's just give it 92. That's why I'm saying you have to have a lot of width here and give it a little bit of breathing space to trade it. The one negative about trying to sell this thing is, of course, you're selling right into the bottom. So perhaps, and actually I think not perhaps, but what I would do is I would want to see the 90s broken. I want to see 90 broken, and if you can close through 90, that's going to give you a lot more confidence that we're going to go then towards the 89s, that this has now become a full peak reversal trade in the euro pound. So that's how the week shapes up. I wish you guys the best luck, the best trading. Boris Schlossberg, over and out.